Hello Stargazers, Astroblog number 11 I do believe from Mike. Thought I'd have a bit of a sort of equipment update again for geeks. This time around I thought why not get one of those little video cap attachments, USB. They're not that expensive, look them up like video cap. Get your cammedia, right, get it onto ISO 800. Doesn't matter if it's 2.1 megapixels or 3.2. Mine's just a 2.1 sorry. Here it is here. Now here we have an Olympus cammedia camera. Okay, I've put it on a very simple tripod setup. Okay, today's date, what's today's date? Is it 25th of February?
I think it's 27.
Oh right, okay. But in any case, what I've done is I've put, as you can see, I'm powering it by an adapter that I got with a little MP3 speaker, because you need to put some punch into these on the voltage, no batteries, because it'll eat batteries. And I've basically got a video outline here, which goes into the little plug there, and I've connected it up through, as you can see, the yellow lead there, which is the video lead there, into my device, which is called EasyCap. I don't know whether the camera can capture that, but it says, well, next to that green light there, EasyCap. Right, straight into the laptop. Now this is a Vista. They're shocking usually for anything to do with video, but I've got mine to work on a program. This one's called Debut Video Capture. Okay, but there's lots of other ones you can use, and basically what I've done is you can look at you can't really see the stars, okay, but what you can do is you can set your camera on to 16 seconds. So I'll just move over to here and I'll show you how I did that. Okay, with the camera rolling. Okay, which you can watch it on the screen. If I go into out of this menu here, right, there's some of the pictures I've done earlier, you see. Now it's a bit faint, but you might be able to see that there are some stars, which is part of the Big Dipper. There's one there, one there, one there, one there, and a couple of faint ones around. That's my washing line. There's the top of my house there, roof, and there's a tree. Now, the seeing conditions tonight are atrocious, right, but I still thought it's a good test for astronomy, for an astronomer, to show you that something works when conditions are as bad as this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the menu. So if I go out of this picture mode, okay, right, here we have my settings for my photography. I'm using f3.2 16 seconds, which you can do on a camera. There's lots of other cameras out there on the market that will do these sort of exposures. Okay, and basically that's my maximum setting, and I'm only using standard quality, right, because scene conditions are atrocious and it takes up less memory card on a smart memory card. So what I'm going to do is I'll focus. Okay, let's get some light on this. I'll turn my light off there. If you turn there. Okay, so what I'm going to do, Stargazers, so I'm now going to press my silver button on my camera halfway down. That sets the focus. Somewhere up there in the firmament, in the horrible fog up there, is the Big Dipper or Ursa Major. Okay, so what I do is first of all press this button halfway down to get the focus right. Then press it all the way down. If you watch my computer screen, there it'll be starting ready to take a picture. And if you go back to the camera now, but I'm not putting any light on it, take the right light off the camera then, so it's nowhere near the lens. It will in a while take that sky picture. So we just need to wait a little bit. This software, there we are, give me a little preview of what it would like, and I'll show you the actual picture. I need to press the button underneath this little screen twice. Okay. Here we go, and there's the picture we just took while you were with me, Stargazers, live. Now then, I've moved it slightly to left. It's pretty faint at the moment. There's 1, 2, 3. There's another star there, another star there, another star there. That is Ursa Major. Bearing in mind this is absolutely atrocious conditions, and we can't. Probably I'd have to look at this much more closely to see Draco, which is the dragon, which sort of winds its way, tail of the dragon, between Ursa Major there, and winds its way to the pole star. And of course these are the two pointer stars of the pole star. There's my washing line, there's the tree. Back to me if you would please, Jane. So Stargazers, again, using very cheap equipment and basic equipment, Mikey shows you how it's done. Okay, right, so this is the standard exposure, f3.2, 16 seconds, and I'll be focusing on Leo, which is up there at the moment. There's a couple of stars visible, but let's see what we can pick up on atrocious conditions. Okay, stop. Ready? Right, okay, this is the shot I did. It's on screen there of Leo. I shall obviously make you see it a bit more clearly when I blow it up, but I can actually make out a sort of sickle shape of the leading stars of Leo. And obviously you can see there's the edge of my roof there and the washing line there. So I blew the picture up on the screen, and it did show some of the fainter stars much better. Try and see if I can get you a better angle. But this is the leading stars, the sickle of Leo, and they did show up. Astroblog number 11, tonight's stargazing session, which we saw earlier, February the 26th, 2014. Basically, you need to probably have a little guide to astronomy. I use various books, various guides. This one here is very good, because I don't know if you can focus on that, but you can look at your actual latitude, and you can see on these dotted lines where you can see the horizon where you live. And basically that horizon gives you a clue as to what's actually going to be on the horizon. Now, I've been looking earlier on at Jupiter, which at the moment is in this constellation here of Gemini, the twins, and I noticed that one of the moons of Jupiter, looking through my telescope, was just grazing the planet. And if you consider that Jupiter and its little moons are like a mini solar system in themselves, looking down, if you imagine that the moons appear to be going around anti-clockwise, so I saw one of the moons, which itself was going around Jupiter, and when I looked again you couldn't see the moon again, so basically that moon was probably passing in front of the planet itself, so I'll be looking out later on to see when a shadow would appear. Okay, but using this guide here, I've been taking some astrophotographs using my Camedia of this sickle shape here part, which is of Leo, and there are lots of wonderful astronomical things to see in Leo. There's Regalis there, and there are lots of galaxies, and spring is the best time to see galaxies if you have better equipment than mine. But I'm also fascinated by Draco, and if you look at here, which is the other astrophotography I was doing of here, the Ursa Major, Draco is this beautiful constellation. If I turn the book up here, it starts there and it winds down between the two pointer stars that lead to Polaris, the pole star. It winds down, and then this beautiful curve, and it winds right back on itself. But just out of range of my view at the moment, where I live, is this constellation here, Hercules. I absolutely love this because there is a cluster in Hercules which I would like to photograph. But just seeing Draco winding its way around it is absolutely superb, and there's a head to the dragon as well. It really is magical. And I enjoy this. This is a very unusual time of year because you're getting to see these constellations like Leo, and there's another constellation because of the angle of the Ursa Major at the moment. You can see this extended part of the constellation here, but then also not so far away from it is another star, and there's Arcticus and Bootes, and these are very. It's a very strange looking constellation as well. But you've still got the other side of the stars from where I am is this side here, which is basically I can't really see that after in the evening time as it sets. But if about 7 o'clock in the evening, I can see Gemini there, quite high up. But later on, which goes really sort of around midnight, I can start to see some of these other constellations rising as well. And in particular, last night I was up quite late trying to fix some of my astronomy gear, and I saw Boots and Arcticus, and I'll show you them some other time. If you are up quite late on late February, early March, then you should be able to see this constellation, which is called Borealis, and it is the Herdsmen, who's an ancient constellation, represents a herdsman driving a bear around the sky, sometimes depicted having hunting dogs with him, and it looks to me like sort of like an ice cream cornet, if you like. But just to this side, on this side of this, there is this other constellation here, Corona Borealis, which is like a crown, sometimes thought of as being a laurel crown, which is again in ancient mythology as well. Going back to equipment, which is more me, doing a calculation on my basic calculator here, I made this very simple scope to use to learn my way around the night sky. The front of it, the objective is an old binocular, but I didn't like the binoculars that I had. I could never collimate them, that is, set them up properly. So what I did is I got a cardboard tube here, and I used brown tape and taped the front of the lens to this brown tube here, as you can see, kitchen roll, and then I used a smaller tube here which would fit inside and put some packaging around it, and then one of the original eyepieces from the old binoculars that I could never get to work properly. And you could obviously make 2 of these from binoculars, and I fit the packing tube that fits like that in like a focuser inside here, and I can focus up and down. But you see, the point of this is it's an upside down image, but I'm getting a lot more light than I would do through binoculars. And here's how it works out. If I start off my calculator with light saying at 100, every time you hit an optical surface in a prism, you're losing 10%. So the first prism that comes to, you times it by 0.9 for what's left. Right, you're left with 90% of what hit the first lens there. The second one, times it by 0.9, I'm left with 81%. The third time it goes through something, I'm left with 72.9%, and so on. So basically, in astronomy, you're not interested in things being the right way up. If that image was the right way up, looking through this telescope, I'm only seeing just over 70% of the photons that actually hit the front of the telescope. So here I've only got one objective, 50mm, one eyepiece, nothing in between them. I've actually used my own internal mechanisms, if you like, because I've tapered the way it goes. There's a plastic tube inside this that tapers, that gets rid of stray light, and you should really make sure that the inside of your homemade telescope is dull. Here it's cardboard, which is quite good because it won't reflect much of the light, but if you have a reflective internal surface, you'll get a lot of internal reflections. So I would calculate, instead of getting 72.9%, right, I'm getting 100, say 100 comes in through there, you lose about 10%, and then through the eyepiece, so times 0.9, I'm getting about 90% instead of 72.9. I've noticed already when I'm looking in the sky, I can see very, very faint objects, which more than I can see through, unless it's a very, very good pair of binoculars. But the idea of this one was, I chose this eyepiece to have, this one gives quite a very wide field, and in astronomy, I can't emphasize too much, a wide field telescope is in many ways, in my opinion, much better. So an eyepiece that has a very long focal length, say 25, 30 or even 40mm, to me I like them better than high powered ones. You see more sky, and if you have a big mirror, or even if you use a simple objective like this, a short tube, this is light and easy to carry. So for learning your way around the sky, stargazers, you can't beat it. Till next time. with a 10mm eyepiece. It's a very steady steering condition, trying to see if I can see any bands on it really. It's nice to catch all of the Galilean moons if you can.